Okay, so before we get started into this video, there's a couple things I want to say, and if you don't want to listen to it, don't blame you. You can just skip ahead like 2 minutes or hit your finger on the right side of the screen about 9 times. Don't lose count. I wanted to talk about the video I made about a year ago. It was a Danganronpa video where I ranked all the characters in Trigger Happy Havoc, and to my surprise, it actually got a decent amount of traction, about 1.2k views, which is more than I probably could have ever asked for. If you can think, in that video I talked about how I'd probably only get like 12. But funny enough, I've only gotten about like 13 subscribers, and I'm not surprised by that. Like, I'm not upset by that by any means. I know why. I never posted another video. You know, I had people coming to my channel, but none of them would care because I had one video. Why would anyone feel the need to subscribe to me? At the time, I did not have good quality stuff. I had a crappy Windows Vista laptop that I made that video on. I was recording my audio on my phone. It was just not a good time. And just as I've come into adulthood and gotten a little bit older over these past couple of years, naturally, I've gotten a better flow of income. I've been able to get better quality stuff. I got a new computer, a mic, a new phone, some lighting. I've gotten a lot more stuff and a lot more resources at my disposal that I feel a lot more confident in what I'm putting out. Now I can have better edited videos, better recorded videos. I can have this face-to-face with y'all that I wasn't able to have before. So with all that stuff, naturally I'm gonna feel more confident in putting out more videos, putting out better videos, and hopefully you guys will respond accordingly, that you guys will like these new videos I'm putting out. This video right now, you already read the title, it's about ranking the worlds in Kingdom Hearts. I was gonna make another Danganronpa video, but I didn't want to have 2 Danganronpa videos in a row, though I'm not opposed to that because I love the Danganronpa series. So maybe the next video will be about Danganronpa, but I feel like the community around Danganronpa is probably the same community who would like, stuff like Persona 5, or I guess all the Persona games. I've only played Persona 5 so far. Haven't beaten it. No spoilers in the comments. Or, Kingdom Hearts, or stuff, stuff like that. Y'all vibing with the UA shirt. But that's basically it. Let's just get started. Starting off this list at number 12, to nobody's surprise, is Atlantica. Garbage. Number 11. No, I'm playing. I'll actually talk about it. Begrudgingly, if I might add. Atlantica is everybody's least favorite KH1 world, and if it isn't yours, you have poor taste. Any world where you have to use triangle and square to move around is immediately garbage. You'll find yourself dying a few times before you fully get a hang of the controls, and you'll find yourself dying a few more times even after that, because sometimes it feels like Sora just moves around at the speed of molasses. I don't know what he's swimming in, but it might as well be peanut butter sometimes. This is all made worse by the music in the background. Under the Sea is kind of heat in KH1, but combine that with already fumbling with controls, especially if you keep dying because you're playing on like Proud Level 1, the music becomes more of a nice mockery rather than a nice melody. That, combined with everything else in this boring barrage of blue, and you got yourself a headache that won't go away until Halloweentown. At least Atlantica has the decency to make itself optional in both games, but for my Proud Level 1 boss ranking video, I'm gonna make myself go anyways. Should be hell. Speaking of headaches, splashing its way into number 11, Monstro. Yeah, you see what I did there? Monstro's design makes you feel like you're in a 90s acid trip, but the fun doesn't stop there. To top it all off, you're in a maze. So, yeah. Have fun. In all honesty, the maze isn't bad or hard by any means. I've played through KH1 multiple times in my life, and I've never figured out the maze in Monstro. I just kind of walk aimlessly in and out of areas until I finally find Riku and tell him to stop being a dick. The world itself isn't bad, but it's kind of not that good either. It's just kind of there, and makes it feel like a chore more than anything else. You always forget about it too. I always find myself going, oh yeah, we're almost to Halloweentown. The boss is just kind of okay too, but that's neither here nor there. Or maybe it is. I don't know. If you really want to talk about headaches though, look no further than number 10, Wonderland. I'll preface this right now, I do love all of these worlds. Every single one of these worlds, whether how high they rank on the list or how low they rank on the list, have a special place in my heart from back when I was a kid, till honestly now in my late teens. I love them all. That being said, that doesn't really make for a good video, now does it? See, even though I crap all over these worlds for comedic purposes, I do genuinely love them all. I actually really like the gimmick of shrinking down for the world, and like the Trick Master is technically the same height as Donald Duck, but you're just tiny. It's kind of neat. That's as far as my enjoyment went. Other than that, it was kind of not that fun. I always find myself getting lost and then giving all my potions and ethers to the flowers and then just not having fun. I know I'm making it sound like it's the world's design's fault, but I was probably just dumb as a kid. Luckily, a lot of the world is kind of optional in a sense, seeing how all you have to do is grab one piece of evidence and go trigger the boss fight, and you can be in and out within 15 minutes. Overall, it's not a bad world. I just try to get in and out as quick as possible. Insert sex joke later. Sailing into number 9, we have Neverland. That's the last one. Neverland is just kind of for me. I can take it or leave it. The world feels kind of small and boring, but it's still fun nonetheless. Nevertheless, Neverland! The hell am I going with this? What really makes me like Neverland though are the enemies. I love the design of the pirates and air pirates. Clever name, I know. And I never minded fighting basic grunts, even though we're already like 9 worlds into the game. Plus the Dark Sora boss fight in the Captain's Quarters is one of my favorite boss fights in KH1 by far. Plus, I just like the idea of him following you around the ship until you eventually go beat him. The Clock Tower boss was kind of fun too. You're able to fly in this world, which is a neat gimmick, but it's kind of worthless in this world. Given the small confines of the ship, there's not really many places you can. You'll find yourself giving Sora brain damage by slamming his head into the ceiling more times than anything else. But it's still a neat gimmick nonetheless. Neverland is an okay world. I just kind of never really get excited to go there, and for that reason it's number 9. Alright guys, for number 8 we have Deep Jungle. I really wanted to put Deep Jungle higher on this list, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I remember Deep Jungle so fondly, but when I actually started thinking about it, it's not as good as I remember. In fact, I just kind of remember a lot of green and a lot of tan. Those were like the only 2 colors used. And though the color scheme might be lacking, the map design was actually pretty nice, and it made it feel really big, probably because it kind of was pretty big. The only problem with that is that it made you backtrack to the same part like 3 different times, so it just kind of made it tedious and boring to an extent. Also, this is kind of separate from the world, but I want to talk about the boss fight because I did it recently. Clayton just kind of shoots Sora and no one really talks about it. He just straight up caps Sora and Sora bounces back like he didn't just get popped. A lot of ways to say someone got shot. I guess Sora's just impenetrable to bullets? I don't know. My favorite thing about Deep Jungle though are the Power Wilds. Power Wilds are probably in my top 5 Heartless designs, and I was so happy when they brought them back for the Tangle World in Kingdom Hearts 3. I don't remember the actual name. They're kind of just basic monkeys, but I like them. The sliding mini game was dumb as hell though. You couldn't even do it all in one run either. You had to finish one section and then go all the way back. What's up with that? At number 7, Hollow Bastion. I know some of you guys might be surprised. I just kind of don't like Hollow Bastion that much. Don't get me wrong, it's fine and all, but I feel like there are too many things going against Hollow Bastion for it to be higher on this list. Maybe it's the fact that you have to go through all of it twice. I don't know. Honestly, don't have much to say about Hollow Bastion. It's not seriously bad, I just don't care for it. I kind of do have a couple of gripes, and rather than deleting text, I just decided to add more and write a sentence that completely contradicts the other one. One thing I don't like about Hollow Bastion's design is all the switches you have to click. Yeah, clicking a lot of switches doesn't seem that bad, but the problem is in Kingdom Hearts 1, you can't interact with anything using triangle until all the enemies are defeated. And in Hollow Bastion, it feels like every enemy is just designed to waste your time. Wyvern or Air Soldier? Have fun getting one swipe in before they fly away. Dark Balls is gonna teleport and have you just hitting air. Those Guardian Heartless literally have shields. Magicians are probably the worst. Your combo probably does enough to just barely take it out before it teleports away. Better hope it doesn't use a Thunder Spell or you'll be standing there for 5 minutes. There's one section in particular where it's all Wyverns and Red Nocturnes that you have to kill before you can activate the switch. But not only that, it kind of goes into the second problem that I have, which is all the ledges. This section in particular to me is the hardest, where it's very easy to fall off the edge, but happens in a lot of other areas. And if you fall off the edge, you have to go all the way back, and all the enemies respawn, and you're just pissed off. I've never done that section successfully first try to this day. Shame. Alright, we have a lot to talk about in this world, so get ready. For number 6, Olympus Coliseum. Number 5, End of the World. I don't really know what to say about the End of the World. I like it, but it feels like it's not for any defining reason. It's just kind of neat. I don't know, maybe I just connect with it on a deep level. The idea of one's world falling apart, everything you once loved, now scattered, where only fragments remain. and the deep, deep loneliness of space. The colors are pretty. The Chernobog fight is fun too. I mainly like it just for the music and the nostalgia of sitting in band when the teacher was in band and watching Fantasia 3000 for like the 7th time in a row. Aside from that, the fight itself is kind of exhausting. The glide mechanic went the best in KH1, so you kind of had to position yourself by his head, and half the time your combos would take you too high or too low, and then you had to reposition yourself, and then use that fire where you had to fly away and come back. It's a long-winded fight to be sure. The main thing I don't like about this world is the boss rush before you finish, or before you get to the final part of the game. I tried doing a critical level 1, I tried doing a proud level 1 run before, and I could not do it. I guess I'm just kind of hoping I can do it now. Other than that, though, this world's tops. I don't know if I should do transitions, and if I do them, like what they will be, but number 4 is Agrabah. Yay. I'll be honest, I'm biased towards Agrabah since Aladdin is my favorite movie, but biases aside, Agrabah is still an amazing world. The anime design fits extremely well and makes you feel more immersed in the environment. Yeah, I know some people think the designs of the bandits are racist, but I like them. If there's a world based in Mexico, give me all the sombreros and maracas you got. Screw it. Furthermore, I love how much is in Agrabah. In general, it's a decently sized map, but counting Kurt Ziza, there are 5 boss battles in Agrabah, and they're all fun. Well, I guess the last Jafar fight wasn't that fun, and neither was the Genie Jafar fight before it. The story is decently good, and is made better by the fact that Jasmine just gets straight up abducted by Riku by the end. I will say though, the Cave of Wonders wasn't the best. It wasn't bad, but it's just kind of annoying to some extent. It kind of has the same problem as Bastion, of falling off the edge in the middle of combat, only to come back up to the family reunion and find out that all the enemies respawned. Yeah, not fun. Other than that though, Agrabah is still one of my favorite worlds, and it's going to be for a long time. It was hard to choose between the 2nd and 3rd place spot, but taking the bronze medal is Traverse Town. Traverse Town is just a charming world. It's impossible not to like it. It has to be top 3 favorite worlds for everybody. The environment is so wholesome, and you can honestly sleep to the Traverse Town theme. I know, because I have before. You gotta love the characters too. I've never played Final Fantasy, but I was still able to appreciate Leon in the game. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm not saying Squall. I learned him as Leon, and as Leon he shall stay. I'm lazy. Aerith though I didn't like too much. Can somebody tell me why? She sounds like a prepubescent 14-year-old who just got throat chopped. No wonder Sephiroth killed her. Yeah, it's been 23 years, get over it. The guard armor and opposite armor fights are pretty fun, and I really like the design of them. You know, come back and it's all switched. Like, oh, the hands or feet. It's opposite. Yeah. I would have loved to have a secret boss there too. It seemed like a good place for them. They never did though, so I don't know. I guess Julius from Dream Drop Distance will have to do. There's also just so much to do in Traverse Town. No matter how many times I play the game, I find myself finding more and more stuff. Yeah, like all of this stuff you don't really care about, but it's there, and it's neat. Except the Dalmatians. Fuck the Dalmatians. Number 2 is Halloweentown. Halloweentown is undeniably one of the best worlds of Kingdom Hearts 1. Where do I even begin? I'll try the beginning. For one, the music is great and I never get tired of humming along to it. Even as I'm typing the script right now, I'm humming along to it, and it kind of seems like my mother's getting annoyed by that just because she doesn't have good taste. The enemy design is great. The enemy design is fantastic as well. The mummies and gargoyles are really nicely made, and I almost always have fun fighting them. Well, almost. The mummies have some ranged attacks and just mess you up immediately. These enemies are also kind of annoying because there's some areas like Bastion where you have to do something, where you have to trigger something in order to move on to the next area, but before you do that, you have to kill everything else. Luckily, it felt like they realized it was going to be annoying and they put little platforms after you've already gone through it so you can just skip right past them. That aside, Halloweentown is greatly designed. I honestly don't know whether Halloweentown is big or small. I just have fun while I'm there, and I never pay attention to the size of it. Let that be a message to all the men listening to this. Size doesn't matter. And to all the women listening to this, yeah, I know size does matter. And I'm sorry I've disappointed so many of you. That's such a stupid fucking joke. I don't know if I'm gonna keep that in. I guess another gripe I have with the design is just, it's kind of really dark. So if there's a glare on my screen, I don't know where the hell I'm going. But at this point, I'm just nitpicking, which just goes to show how great Halloweentown is if I have to nitpick things to make fun of it for. It's just genuinely really fun. The boss battles was pretty fun too, in my opinion. I didn't really like the first Oogie fight, but I liked the second one against his house. Yeah, I know, like, on paper, that fight seems so ridiculous, but playing Professor Pimple Popper on the Oogie House Hybrid is actually really fun. This world just has so much in it and it's so neat. I'll be honest, I've never watched A Nightmare Before Christmas, but just by extension. That might be a poor thing to go off of, but yeah, don't worry about it. 10 out of 10. I'm sorry, I'm a basic bitch. It's Destiny Islands. Number one's Destiny Islands. I know. One thing y'all should know about me that you'll probably figure out pretty quick is I'm kind of like just a basic type of person, but like not. Like, I definitely, I know myself. I know I'm complex as hell, but like when it comes to just media, I'm fine with just basic stuff. Like Goku, I love Goku. You know, the most bland, just one note character. I'll still sit there and be like, yeah, Goku. I don't know, cause screw character development. Or like literally just like my last video I made. If you haven't seen it, shameless plug, go watch it. Spoilers ahead. Number one was Makoto. Why? Cause I just like that kind of protagonist. I mean, Kingdom Hearts, I love Sora. He's one of my favorite protagonists of the whole world. And he shouldn't be. I understand that he shouldn't be. But that's just my type. That's just what I like. Like, I guess to put it in perspective, like on the show Victorious, I know some people would go for like the more gothy Jade, or some go for, you know, the bubbly Cat. I would choose Tori. Yeah, and nobody chooses Tori. Why? Because she's just the best main bitch. I don't know. That's just me. In this case, you can't really blame me though. Like, Destiny Islands is just so amazing. The music is so warming and it just never gets old. And I love the design of every single one of the 2 places you can go. I guess 4 technically, but you get what I mean. It's small, but that's part of its little charm. Just a little lively, little small world. I've always left wanting more. I always want to go back to it, and yeah, like, Recoded doesn't count. Like, that's not fun. In Kingdom Hearts 3, I thought we'd actually get to explore Destiny Islands, and then they blue-balled the hell out of us and said, no, it's just a cutscene! I don't know, but I want to go back. I want to explore more of Destiny Islands. I love Destiny Islands. I would, like, if there's any world on this list that you would tell me that, like, you would want to live, tell me it's not Destiny Islands. Tell me it would not be Destiny Islands.